I've loved the Australian countryside all my life. I've spent more time than most people in the bush looking close up at animals because of my past passion for hunting. But these days I just love capturing all our native wildlife on film. And there's so much of it up here in the mountains at Girvan that I've decided, although I put bits of it in titles, I've decided you'd like to maybe see the whole lot in one go. So I've put it all together. Here's a collection, and I'm sure there'll be more. The laughing kookaburra is instantly recognisable in both plumage and voice. There is a conspicuous dark brown eye stripe through the face. It is one of the larger members of the kingfisher family. Laughing kookaburras are found throughout eastern Australia and have been introduced to Tasmania, Western Australia and even New Zealand. It inhabits most areas where there are large suitable trees. Laughing kookaburras feed mostly on insects, worms and crustaceans, although small snakes, mammals, frogs and birds may also be eaten. Butcherbirds are common competitors for kookaburras, and this young juvenile thinks, if the kookaburra doesn't want the snake I killed, he'll have it. The pied butcherbird is found throughout the Australian mainland, but it's absent from Tasmania. It inhabits dry forests and woodlands and often approaches parks and houses. It is more often heard than seen as it sings from a prominent perch. All butcherbirds are aggressive feeders, preying on small reptiles, mammals, frogs and birds, as well as large insects. Most food is caught on the ground. The birds sit on an exposed perch and swoop down on their prey. The laughing kookaburra is not really laughing when it makes its unique call. Its cackle is actually a territorial call to warn other birds to stay away. It's quite common to see groups and pairs of kookaburras meeting during the day on the edge of their boundaries and sorting things out with a good laugh. The call, however, terrified early Australian settlers who were sure that there were monsters out in the bush. Many people consider the pied butcherbird to be the best singer of all Australian birds. Its voice is a beautiful melodious fluting, sometimes given in turn by several answering individuals. Laughing kookaburras often become quite tame around humans and will readily accept scraps of meat from your hands. This pre-processed food is still beaten against a perch before swallowing. Satin bowerbirds are found along most of the east coast of Australia and make an amazing variety of sounds, including whistles, buzzing, hissing, as well as mimicry. The adult male has striking glossy blue-black plumage, but only develops this satiny sheen after 7 years. Until this time, the male possesses the same plumage and colouring as the female, with both having a violet blue iris. Younger males and females are similar in colour to each other and are collectively referred to as green birds. In winter, outside of the breeding season, birds move to open country and occasionally enter orchards. They feed mostly on fruits throughout the year, plus insects and leaves. Female birds are attracted to blue objects, so the male cleverly collects and decorates a courtship bower to attract females with bright blue coloured objects that it collects. Blue clothes pegs, drinking straws and bottle tops are among the favourite stolen items, along with bright blue parrot feathers and flowers from the bush. There are several types and colorations of the crimson Rosella, ranging from red, yellow and orange. Throughout its range, the crimson Rosella is commonly associated with tall eucalypts and forests. They are normally encountered in small flocks and are easily attracted to garden seed trays. Once familiar with humans, they will accept handheld food. Natural foods include seeds of eucalypts, grasses like they're feeding on here, and shrubs, as well as insects and some tree blossoms. The crimson Rosella's nest is a tree hollow located high in a tree and lined with wood shavings and dust. The female alone incubates the white eggs, but both sexes care for the young birds. The chicks remain dependent on their parents for a further 35 days after leaving the nest. The Redneck Wallaby can be distinguished from other wallabies by its white cheek markings and red colouring on the neck. The rest of its body fur is grey to reddish in colour with a white or pale grey abdomen. Their muzzle, paws and toes are black in colour, and they are so cute. This wallaby ranges throughout the eastern parts of Australia, from Queensland, New South Wales border area right through to South Australia and in Tasmania as well. It's a nocturnal animal, spending most of the day resting amongst dense understory within the forest. Usually a solitary animal, they can be seen grazing from late afternoon to dawn in grassy areas in groups. The pouch life for a redneck wallaby joey is about 9 months, with the joey continuing to suckle until it is around 12 to 15 months of age. Eastern Rosellas are medium-sized colourful parrots with distinctive white cheek patches. Females are usually similar to males but sometimes duller, and young birds, like you'll see here, are even duller again. They're found in open woodlands, grasslands, farmlands and remnant bushland, often found in urban habitats such as parks, gardens and golf courses. These birds mate for life. These parrots damage fruit and other crops, are sometimes caught by domestic pets, and have been trapped for the bird breeding trade in numbers.
Today, the secrets behind the months and years of painstaking work of capturing the wildlife of Girvan on film can finally be told. Particularly the photography of Australia's native birds. Step 1 is a truly revolutionary approach. Build your wife a veggie garden in the country. Step 2. Compel your wife to get a job to pay for your poorly budgeted home build. so its once proud veggies go to seed, the whole thing falls into disrepair and exotic weeds grow from its lovingly created compost. The final step most of you will already know about, the blind. Having placed a tripod on your kitchen sink, very gently, early in the morning, raise the window blind to see what's outside the shed you're temporarily living in. Step 4, tie a tripod to your car's rear vision mirror so you can stop and film wildlife anytime you see it as you drive around, just like they do in Big Cat Diary. Okay, it's a cheap and nasty copy, but it works. Step 5, wear yourself out building a house so all you can do at the end of the day is sit on your partially constructed veranda with a cup of tea and a camera and patiently wait to see what might come out. Step 6, get yourself a GoPro pole. That's not a GoPro pole. This is a GoPro pole.
The Gala is one of the most abundant and familiar Australian parrots, found in large flocks in a variety of timbered habitats, usually near water. Galahs form huge, noisy flocks which feed on seeds, mostly from the ground. Seeds of grasses and cultivated crops are eaten, making these birds agricultural pests in some areas. They form permanent partnerships, although a bird will take a new partner if the other one dies. The nest is a tree hollow or similar location like this one, lined with leaves. Both sexes incubate the eggs and care for the young. There's a very high chick mortality in Galahs, with up to 50% of the babies dying in the first 6 months. They've been recorded breeding with other members of the cockatoo family, both in the wild and captivity, including the sulphur-crested cockatoo. The pink and grey galah is becoming more abundant around areas of human habitation, with the growth in population largely a result of increased availability of food and water. I had a pet galah called Gonzo from a baby. He'd sit on your shoulders, fly around the house, talk like an old man, but sadly he had a destructive taste for timber skirting boards and fly screens.